Not to do it is have someone sign a non-compete agreement that has them agreeing that if they leave the employment of your company, they can't go work for a competing business. If you have one of those agreements, it's not going to be enforceable. Don't even try. If you're thinking about having employees sign them, it's a waste of time here in California. A couple exceptions. In connection with the sale of business, if you have an owner who's selling, he's selling an ice cream store, and he's going to agree to the buyer, I'm not going to go down the street and open up my own ice cream store to compete with yours. That's enforceable. You're selling your business, and you can restrict yourself on what you're going to do. Same thing with a dissolution or buyout of a partnership. You can, and this is important, we'll talk about this a little bit today, you can prohibit employees from competing with you while they're on your payroll. That's your prerogative, right? And usually that comes in the form of policies and agreements that they will sign. And it comes in the form of enforcement by inviting them to leave your company if they're going to go out and compete. A very important exception, one that we'll spend most of our time today, is trade secret exception, where employees, yes, they can go out and freely find any job out there with any competitor, but what they can't do is use your trade secret information once they've gone to that employer. So that's what we're really going to focus in on today. And when you really sit down with a business person and ask them, well, what is it that really scares you about the employee going to work for the competitor, it's not the fact that they're going to be burning the midnight oil for this company, really going out and trying to raise the business or do whatever it is that they did. The fear is they're going to take what you've built up and they're going to steal it and use it at the other company. And that's what the trade secret exception is meant to deal with. As I just had you do on your materials, you crossed out the section having to do with partial restraints. The idea here is, historically in the law, some courts have said, well, there's an exception. Well, if you just restrain them a little bit, if you just say, well, you can't work for a competitor, but only for 6 months, so no big deal, or you can't work for A, B, C, and D competitor, but you can go work for anyone else you want, or you can work anywhere you want, just not within a 50-mile radius of where we do business. It's just a small matter that we're not really stopping you from doing anything except for these small limitations. Of course, we're willing to say in the past, oh, well, that's okay, we'll let that one fly, it's reasonable. Recently, however, the California Supreme Court said, nope, that's not an exception. You go back and read this law, Business Suppression Code 660, no exception built in there for that. We see no reason to put that in the law. The legislature wants to make a partial restraint, that's fine, but we're not going to allow it short of anything like that. So that's why I had you cross out that section.